Hello, hello. I am so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me for the Clinical Advantage. Um, I'm really excited to get started soon. So if you're just jumping on, welcome. I'm Kaili Ets. We're going to get started in just a few minutes because I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. While we're waiting for everybody to join, I'd love to know who I am spending time with and also to make sure that you know how to use the chat box. This is on YouTube. It's my first time live streaming a webinar on YouTube, so we're just going to see how it goes, but you should see the option for a chat box as well. So if you have any questions throughout, I will try my best to make sure that I am keeping an eye on that. And yeah. Here we go. Before we dive in, I'm going to do the invitation to you to really just be here, be fully present, give yourself this time, close any extra tabs, silence your phone. You're here because something about this topic spoke to you. Maybe you've been dreaming about running your own mom and baby classes, or you have felt that pull to support families in a deeper, more holistic way. So for the next little bit, I want you to give your permission to just be here. And here we go. So this is when I just wanted to make sure everything is running smoothly. So hello and welcome again. I'm so glad that you are here today. I'm Kaili. I have run over 100 mom and baby class series all over Toronto and Burlington here in Ontario, Canada in the last 10 years. I have reached thousands of moms and babies. My mom and baby classes average about 6 to 10 participants each. Every now and then we have up to 12, but that's a lot. And this allows me to make anywhere from $100 to $260 per hour. And that is after my percentage split with whatever clinic I'm working at. So yes, I know a thing or two about running these kinds of classes, but that's not all of who I am. So as I mentioned, I'm Kaili Ets. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. I'm a mama of 2, and I am the creator of these Babies at Play classes. I've been supporting babies and families for the last 18 years as an occupational therapist, and I am now almost finished my osteopathy program as well. One of the things I'm most passionate about is helping rebuild the village for new moms and new parents through supportive, developmentally rich mom and baby classes that any qualified clinician can lead. Today, we're going to explore why clinicians like you, whether you're an OT, a PT, an SLP, chiropractor, massage therapist, IBCLC, doula, yoga, or Pilates instructor, or some other perinatal professional, are uniquely qualified to lead these classes as well. We'll look at how your expertise supports both babies and moms, and how you can step into this role in your community with confidence. By the end of today, you will be able to identify at least 3 unique contributions clinicians can bring to a mom and baby group program. You'll be able to describe how your knowledge of infant development and sensory systems informs group programming. Explain how supporting maternal well-being strengthens outcomes for babies. And you'll be able to outline 2 simple strategies to get your classes off the ground and reframe the common mindset barriers that hold so many of us back from starting. You've probably heard the phrase, "it takes a village to raise a child." In many cultures, from South America to Greece to parts of Asia, new mothers are surrounded by care after birth. For example, some traditions include a 40-day rest period where finally the family and community come together to handle any daily tasks so that mom can rest and bond with her baby. Those tasks might be making meals, giving mom massages, taking care of other children. Really, the emphasis is on that bonding of mom and baby in those first 40 days. But in Western society, this kind of support has really been lost. Mothers are often sent home within days of birth, sometimes even just hours after birth, expected to do it all with little help. Research tells us that 50 to 85% of new mothers experience postpartum blues, and not just because of hormonal shifts after birth. A big part of it is actually cultural expectations that they should be able to figure everything out instantly with little or no guidance from experienced caregivers that are around them. We also know that stress is contagious. Infants literally absorb their mother's stress, and this shapes their own nervous system regulation and early development. When moms are struggling, babies feel it. And that's exactly where you, as a perinatal or pediatric clinician, come in. No matter your discipline, whether OT, PT, SLP, chiro, massage therapy, midwifery, lactation, doula work, or movement based practices, you bring something powerful to the table. You can step into this gap and become part of that much needed village for new moms, offering both practical strategies and the kind of warm, knowledgeable support that generic parent and baby classes simply cannot provide. About 10 years ago, I was struggling so much with serious imposter syndrome. I had this deep desire to run mom and baby classes, but I was scared. I kept toggling between doing research, reviewing notes, and creating content, and then chickening out entirely. I was scared to put myself out there, scared to fail, scared of being called a fraud. And honestly, I felt like I had no clue how to actually get a class up and running. But here's what I didn't realize back then: the expertise I already had from my clinical training made me more qualified than almost anyone else in the room. And the same is true for you. Let's talk about your three superpowers as a clinician. Before that, I'm curious, does anyone else feel this way? I was scared to jump all in because what if no one came? What if I made no money? I had a family depending on me. I remember once walking around my neighborhood posting handmade flyers on telephone poles with my 8-month old in the stroller. And I was feeling completely paralyzed by fear. I even postponed my very first class start date by 2 weeks because I just didn't feel quite ready yet. So tell me, does anybody else feel like that? I would love to see that in the comments, or you can send me a DM at the Holistic Baby Guru, and I read every single one of them. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has felt this nervousness, this fear, or this lack of confidence. All right, so let's get to those superpowers. The first one is your developmental and clinical expertise. Regardless of your discipline, your training has given you something that most professionals running generic parent and baby classes just don't have. You understand the why behind babies doing and what they need. That didn't make sense. You understand the why behind what babies are doing and what they need. An OT or PT knows how spinal curves develop through tummy time and rolling and crawling. A chiropractor understands how birth trauma can affect alignment and early movement patterns. An SLP recognizes how oral motor development is connected to feeding and sound production. A massage therapist understands how tension in the body can affect babies' comfort and regulation and even development. Crawling, for example, isn't just a mobility milestone. It integrates primitive reflexes, strengthens core muscles, and supports cross-lateral brain development. When babies skip crawling, we often see a downstream of challenges in coordination and learning. Because of your training, you can not only guide parents in encouraging these skills, but you can also explain why they matter. That's something a generic music class or a yoga class or even some of these other mom and baby classes just cannot provide. Your second superpower is your holistic lens. No matter your professional background, you have been trained to look at the whole person, not just the symptom or the milestone. And in a mom and baby class, that means you see both mom and baby as a client. Mothering is an occupation. It comes with entirely new demands: feeding, soothing, navigating sleep deprivation, recovering a postpartum body, and forming a new identity as a parent. When moms are exhausted and anxious, in physical pain, or feeling isolated, it affects their baby's development too. We know this from research. Sleep is the number one concern I hear all the time from parents. And it's not just about baby sleep, it's about mom's ability to function and recover when she is not sleeping the way she was before having a baby. Feeding challenges, reflux, body tightness, overwhelm. These are all the things moms are carrying into class every week. And as clinicians, we are uniquely equipped to hold that whole family perspective and offer meaningful support. Your third superpower is using play therapeutically. Play is the work of childhood, but in a clinician led mom and baby class, it becomes a powerful tool for connection, regulation, and development. Through songs, infant massage, sensory play, and movement routines, you help parents engage with their babies in ways that support both bonding and early skill building. Research shows that repetition and routine creates safety for babies. Their nervous systems thrive on predictability. And here's the beautiful part. While you're supporting baby through play, you're also empowering moms with confidence and practical tools she can take home and use every single day. Now let's look at what this actually looks like in practice. In my Babies at Play groups, every single activity is intentional and grounded in clinical principles. Each class touches on these different 5 domains. And no matter your professional background, you'll find that your training maps onto this beautifully. So let's go through them. The first domain is the gross motor domain. So this is really about the tummy time and talking about different spinal curves, uh, weight shifts, rolling, crawling. We're doing a lot of sitting transitions, pulling to stand, etc. So we're really working on all of these depending on the level of the class that I am teaching. And I have various levels. I've got level 1, which is for 0 to 6 month-ish. Level 2 is 6 to 12 months. And then I've got a level 3, which is a toddlers at play class as well. The second domain is fine motor and visual motor skills. As babies grow, we introduce activities that support reaching and grasping and bilateral play. This might look like tracking a toy, batting at a toy. Later, it starts to become holding a toy, maybe shaking a toy, transferring it between hands, or letting go on purpose. These skills all build hand-eye coordination, they support self-feeding, and even set the stage for later handwriting and academic skills. Parents love seeing how something as simple as tracking or reaching for a toy has long-term benefits. Then we also have the sensory play, and this is one of the biggest clinical advantages across disciplines. It's this understanding of sensory systems, especially vestibular, tactile, and proprioceptive input. For the vestibular system, we use gentle rocking and bouncing on a yoga ball or a parent's lap, and even the parachute for older children or older babies. For tactile input, we bring in textured balls and bubbles and scarves. I've got these different pop tubes that have different sensory inputs to them. For proprioception, we encourage hug squeezes, pushing against a parent's hands, crawling over small obstacles, and stomping for the toddler group. These activities aren't just fun, they help babies regulate, attend, and feel grounded. And parents begin to understand how sensory input directly shapes their baby's ability to eat, sleep, and really just connect and move. Whether you come from an OT, PT, chiro, massage, or yoga background, sensory informed practice is something you might naturally bring to the table. And don't worry if you don't know a lot about sensory processing, I teach it all to you in my course. Next, we have the cognitive and social domain. Many of our songs and activities serve a deeper purpose, building body awareness, joint attention, and early language development. For older babies and toddlers, we lean into that imitation, copying a clap, shaking a rattle, waving, pointing. Research shows imitation is one of the earliest learning strategies and directly supports that communication development as well. Pairing actions with simple songs helps babies link movement, rhythm, words, body awareness, all of the things. SLPs in particular bring an incredible depth of knowledge here, but every clinician who understands early development can weave language and communication into play beautifully. Parents start to see that something as playful as "if you're happy and you know it" is actually building motor planning, joint attention, and language all at once. Then we also have throughout class, we have parent education and reflection time. So you're not just running activities, you're really educating and guiding and creating space for parents to feel truly seen and supported. One of my favorite parts of every class is the time at the end. After the formal portion, I leave space for open discussion, whether it's about reflux or teething or feeding transitions or sleep regressions, postpartum emotions. All of it is welcome, whatever is on their minds. This is often the part that moms love the most. They feel heard, they realize they're not alone. And as a clinician, you get the opportunity to weave in real evidence based guidance on development, regulation, and daily occupations of motherhood and babyhood. No matter your discipline, this is where your training becomes a gift to families in your community. So, when you look at a clinician led mom and baby class through this lens, you can see it is much more than songs and playtime. It's a structured therapeutic experience, blending gross motor, fine motor, sensory, cognitive, and parent education, all within a warm community setting where moms and babies thrive together, and where you, as a clinician, get to do deep, meaningful work. Now let's flip the lens and talk about what running these groups means for you and your practice. Most of us were trained in a one-to-one clinical model, but running mom and baby groups gives you the opportunity to step into prevention and community-based care, reaching families before small concerns become bigger ones. Instead of waiting until a baby is referred for, let's say, a flat head or a tongue tie or a feeding issue, you can be there from the beginning, guiding tummy time, positioning, sensory needs, and early feeding patterns before they start to escalate into big problems. Groups also raise the visibility of your profession and your practice. Most parents have no idea what a chiropractor does with infants, or that a massage therapist can support a colicky baby, or that an SLP works on feeding from day one. Running a group is one of the most powerful ways to educate your community and to build genuine trust before they ever book a one to one appointment with you. Many of my private practice referrals have come directly from parents who first met me in a group. And groups create a sustainable, joyful income stream that fits beautifully alongside your existing work. This isn't just good for families, it's good for your profession and it's good for you. I know you're here because you have some interest in running mom and baby classes, and maybe you've dreamed about it for years, Or maybe this is the first time you're hearing that it's even possible for someone in your field, but something is holding you back from starting. So let's talk about it. Here's the truth. Even the most qualified clinicians hesitate. I hear these three worries all the time from OTs and PTs and massage therapists and everyone in between. I don't know enough. That's imposter syndrome. I don't have enough activities. That's your perfectionism coming out. I don't know where to start. That is overwhelm. So let's talk about imposter syndrome. This is the number one barrier I hear. And it sounds like this. I don't know enough about infant development. I'm just a yoga teacher. What if a parent asks me something I can't answer? What if an OT or PT or someone more qualified is in the room? Here's the truth. You already know enough. Every clinician in the perinatal and pediatric space brings something unique and deeply valuable. Your training, whether it is in movement or touch or nutrition or voice or nervous system regulation, gives you a lens that parents desperately need. You don't have to know everything. If something comes up that's outside of your scope, you just refer out. And that actually builds your credibility. It shows integrity. Research shows imposter syndrome is common among high achieving health professionals, and it's linked to perfectionism and burnout. Naming it is the first step to taking away its power. The second mindset trap is thinking that you need the perfect plan, the perfect activity list, the perfect toys, the perfect toolkit before you can get started. But babies thrive on repetition. They feel safe when they know what's coming next. The same hello song at the start of every class becomes a regulation ritual. The same tummy time sequence gives parents the confidence to practice it at home. Less is truly more. Consistency beats novelty, especially in the first year of life. So instead of overwhelming yourself with the perfect curriculum, start with a handful of simple, developmentally driven activities and repeat them. That's what creates a lasting impact. The third mindset block is not knowing how to start. The logistics can feel huge. Where do I host my classes? How do I market the classes or myself? What if no one shows up? What if I'm not seen as credible? I get it. I felt the exact same way. When I ran my first Babies at Play class, I was terrified nobody would come. I kept thinking I wasn't ready, but I started anyway, without everything perfectly figured out. And here's what I learned. Action creates clarity. When you take that first step, booking a space, telling one colleague, posting one thing on social media, everything else starts to fall into place. Research shows that progress comes through effort and learning from mistakes, not through waiting for perfect conditions. And that is exactly how running groups works. When I started my first Babies at Play class, I was terrified. I thought I needed that perfect plan, the perfect songs, the perfect setup. I quickly realized three things. First, decide and act. Imperfect action is always better than waiting until you feel ready. Progress comes through the doing. Number two, less is more. Babies and moms thrive on routine and that repetition. You don't need 20 new activities every week. A few consistent, developmentally grounded songs and exercises are far more powerful. Number three, build partnerships. Some of my best classes started because I partnered with a yoga studio, a baby boutique, or a wellness clinic that already had established a community of moms. Find your people. You don't have to do this alone. And if you're a movement practitioner or a body worker, partnering with maybe an OT or a PT or an SLP can actually strengthen your program and your credibility. Once I embraced all of this, my classes filled up. Moms loved them, and I realized I didn't have to be perfect to make a meaningful impact. I just had to start. And don't worry, I have something that is going to make this whole process so much easier for you, kind of like pressing the easy button. Before we move on to that, I want to circle back to our learning objectives. By now, you should be able to identify at least 3 unique contributions you bring as a clinician to mom and baby group programs. You should be able to describe how your role extends to supporting both infant development and maternal well-being. You should be able to explain how sensory and developmental knowledge can be woven into a group setting. You should be able to outline 2 simple strategies to get started. And you should be able to reframe common mindset barriers like imposter syndrome and perfectionism into truths that help you take action. Take a moment. Which of these stood out most for you? Which one do you feel ready to carry forward into your own work? I want to leave you with some words from the mamas who have come through these classes. One mom shared that the classes gave her confidence and she felt truly supported. Another said she finally learned how to help her baby develop, not just show up and sing songs. Another said the best part was realizing she wasn't alone in what she was going through. This is the impact that you can have, not just on milestones, but on the whole family. And that impact comes from the clinical expertise that you already have. Thank you so much for being here and for your commitment to supporting families in this important season of life. As perinatal and pediatric clinicians, we each bring something unique. And together we have the power to truly rebuild that village for new moms. If you have any questions, if you want to continue the conversation, or you're curious about running mom and baby classes and what that could look like in your community, I would love to connect with you. You can reach me at Kaili@kailiets.com, through my website, which is www.kailiets.com, or you can message me over on Instagram at the Holistic Baby Guru. Let's keep building this village and rebuilding this village that is so missing in our society these days. One family, one baby, one class at a time. Now, I want to talk to you about pressing that easy button that I mentioned. You've seen today how much impact these kinds of classes can have for babies, for parents, and for us as professionals. So maybe you're sitting there thinking, this is amazing, but where do I even start? That's exactly why I created Babies at Play Running Mom and Baby Classes Made Easy, a step-by-step course that shows you how to confidently design, launch, and lead your own mom and baby classes, no matter your professional background. Whether you've never led a group before or you're just craving more structure and confidence, this is the roadmap I wish I had had when I started. Inside the course, I walk you through everything you need to know, from the developmental foundations and sensory systems to class structure, songs, activities, and even simple business steps to fill your classes. You'll get 6 clear bite-sized modules, done for you lesson plans, and demo videos with all the exercises and songs, parent handouts, and class templates. Everything is designed so you can take the course and run your first class within weeks without spending hours piecing things together from scratch. Babies at Play Running Mom and Baby Classes Made Easy will help you confidently walk into a room full of moms and babies and lead a class that actually makes a difference. It'll help you make money doing something you love while becoming a deeply valued resource in your community. And it'll give you the structure, the content, and the confidence to know exactly what to do every single class. I want to make sure that you know about something important before you close this window. On June 1st, 2026, that is less than a month away. The price of Babies at Play is increasing from $397 to $497. That is a $100 jump, and it's because this course has grown significantly as I have been revamping my own in-person classes with new songs and activities, and have totally overhauled the Level 3 Toddlers at Play class. And the results truly speak for themselves. But because you are here with me live today, or you're catching the replay, you can still lock in the current price of $397. That price is yours forever, no matter when you actually go through the course. And because we are just 3 days away from Mother's Day, a time that feels so perfectly aligned with everything that we have talked about today, I want to add something really special for my quick action takers. If you register by Saturday, I think it's actually Sunday, May 10th, at 11:59 or before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will receive lifetime access instead of the standard 6-month access window. There's no code for this, but I will be manually going in, changing your access to that lifetime unlimited. That means every future update, every new resource I add, every improvement I make to this course is yours forever. The lifetime access bonus does disappear at midnight on Mother's Day, and the price increase hits June 1st. So head over to courses.kailiets.com/babies/at/play/online. I'll have that link in the show notes below. If something in this is saying yes, trust that feeling. You are here for a reason, and this could genuinely be the beginning of something really meaningful for you and the families in your community. Let me tell you about a few of the Babies at Play Running Mom and Baby Classes Made Easy graduates. So Rebecca from Michigan said, I had honestly never thought about running mama baby groups until I saw posting on the Pediatric Occupational Therapy group on Facebook. I realized this was the missing piece in my practice, and I filled my first class within weeks. Lydia from Ontario, Canada. I often meet mamas that are very worried about their babies and what they should be doing and simply unaware of what their baby should be doing at any age. Kaili is very informative in her videos and has helpful hands-on demonstrations. This gave me the confidence and structure to finally start my own mom and baby groups. These are real clinicians, and both of these ladies were occupational therapists, but I have had speech language pathologists, PTs, I've had a few doulas go through the course, and they have all loved it just the same. They're real clinicians, just like you, who took the leap and found that they had everything they needed, and that the families in their communities were hungry for exactly what they and you have to offer. All right, that is the end of this full presentation. I tried to keep it under 30 minutes, but it looks like we went just a little bit over. But this is your opportunity to ask me any questions. Feel free to ask me questions about running your own mom and baby classes or about the Babies at Play Running Mom and Baby Classes Made Easy course. I'm happy to answer any questions through the chat, and I will have a look at that. But also feel free to just send me an email or a DM on Instagram or Facebook and just get in touch. I love chatting about all of this. Thanks so much, everyone. It's fun to be here. I hope you found this webinar useful for you and your practice.